Number 8, D.A. DeRuckus. Number 99, Cassandra Payne. Number 8, D.A. DeRuckus. Number 50, Decker. Number 40, Epic Wheel Time. 33, E-Rolla Virus. 150 points, the Golden Snitch. Number 21, Great Big C. Number 42, Hit and Miss. Number 62, Honey Habanero. Number 45, Hurt Russell. 79, Justine Timberskate. 1962, Savage Mind. 1111, Sundown. Number 19, Vendetta Von Bang. The coach for the Riot Girls is Lawrence of Alabia, and the line caller is Shift Kicker. Introducing the Riot Girls! Not skating tonight is Selena Gile, Roller Bones, Swiss Army Wife, Mina Slytrap, and Sugar Ray.
Playing against the Riot Girls tonight, it's the Bad Reputations! Captain of the Bad Reputations, number 360, Diva La Revolution. 1812, Aaron Stun. Number 808, Beefcake Barbie. Number 33, Bustylicious. 100% real Canadian bacon. 31, Eve Hollows. KO, Lambaster. 18, Loca Smokia. 51, Major Assets. Number 9, Rumpelstiltskin. Number 7 is Severin Strychnine. 110 A+ Shreducator. Number 4 is Squirrely. The bench coach for the Bad Reputations is Barracuda. Our line caller is Chica Bomb. Ladies and gentlemen, the Bad Reputations. Not skating tonight for the Bad Reputations, we have Count Rockula.
Hello. Ladies and gentlemen, some of you guys might be wondering where your favorite players are from last season. Well, let me tell you, a whole bunch of those are currently on the All-Stars. So they won't be skating tonight, but they do represent the Terminal City Roller Girls across Canada and the United States. Tonight they will be selling programs. They're only $3. Come and support our league by buying them and talk to them about how roller derby's played, why you love roller derby, and so forth. So Terminal City All-Stars, give it up for them.
Okay, and we are starting this game. Fantastic. Joining Snatchy and myself down here at the announcer booth, we also have our good friend Fish and Slips, who is going to be our trackside announcer tonight in case anything goes on with the referees. But we are already ready to play this game. Our first two jammers lining up for the Riot Girls. We have the Golden Snitch, and I believe that is 100% real Canadian bacon for the Bad Reputations. Again, once the referees blow the whistle, that's going to send off the first set of skaters. That is known as the pack. Once everybody from the pack crosses that line, that sends off our jammers with two whistles, and there they go. The jammers now are going to try and make their way to the front of the track with an amazing skating there for the Golden Snitch. She comes out now. She is your lead jammer. She's the first jammer to cross the pack, legally past all of the skaters. So now both jammers are out, and they're going to start their scoring pass. These jammers are going to score points once they pass a player from the opposing team, and they have to pass that player legally. Golden Snitch gets into the pack, and she decides to call off that jam. Fantastic first jam, ladies and gentlemen. Let's give it a hand for your skaters. It looks like the Golden Snitch saw 100% real Canadian bacon right behind her, and she decided to call off that jam before either jammer was able to score any points.
On the line, we've got Hit and Miss for the Riot Girls and Diva La Revolution for the Bad Reputations. The second whistle for the jammers doesn't go until all the blockers pass the front line, so if you're wondering why there's a delay, it's due to that. Both of them are hitting the back of the pack, and in this pass, neither of them score points. So for all you newbies, they don't score points in this very first pass. But the first jammer that makes it through the pack without any penalties is the lead jammer. So they're the ones who can call off the jam. So currently, both of the jammers are stuck in the back of the pack. They're fighting their way through, but the walls are both really tight. Hit and Miss sneaks by, and she's lead jammer. So that basically means that she can call off the jam at any time. But Diva La Revolution is quick on her heels, right behind her. If you pay attention, Hit and Miss quickly passed one blocker in the back of the pack and called it off before Diva could score any points. So Hit and Miss scored 1 point for the Riot Girls and currently 0 for the Bad Reputations. It's going to be a tight game, folks.
And you'll notice that the skaters keep on skating until all 4 of the end whistles have been blown, because they can continue to get points while the whistle is being blown. So until that 4th whistle is blown, it's good. Just you got to keep on skating. You never know when you're going to pull in some more points.
Like Fever said, if you're a blocker, you want to keep hustling because you don't want to be scored against. But if you're a jammer, both jammers should just hustle to the very last whistle.
So both of our jammers are in the back of the pack. The Riot Girls are doing an excellent job of keeping a strong front line, a front wall, though. Made no difference to Rumpelstiltskin. She is through as your lead jammer. Followed right behind her is the Riot Girls jammer, Justine Timberskate. Ooh, a little jammer on jammer action. Justine is able to get ahead of Rumpelstiltskin. Makes no difference. Rumpelstiltskin was your lead jammer. She called off that jam. Great skating by Justine Timberskate there, making the other jammer call off the jam.
Yeah, Timberskate just forced her to call off the jam. I love watching Stilt skate. She's, I think this is her 3rd season with the Bad Reputation. 3rd? Yeah.
I think so.
She used to block, and now she's jamming, and I just think it's awesome. I'm a big fan.
Score still stands at 1 for the Riot Girls, 0 for the Bad Reputations. We've got 2 rookies up on the line here. We've got Eve Hollows.
And Savage Mind for the Riot Girls. Both these rookies are 2 skaters that you need to look out for. Both of them are quick on their feet, and they're aggressive. It's really amazing to see all the training that these girls get in their fresh meat and how quickly they adapt that to actual gameplay. So if you're wondering why the skaters have to come behind everyone when they get hit out, whenever a blocker hits a skater out of bounds, they have to come in behind the person who hit them out. Right now we've got Savage Mind hustling around. She's the only jammer that's out of the pack, which means that the other jammer is still, actually the other jammer is in the sin bin, the penalty box, which means that she has to serve 1 minute. That allows for the Riot Girls to score as many points as possible during this time. It's a power jam. Sorry, I'm talking. You can just interrupt me. The bad reputations are trying to make a tight wall so that the jammer can't get through, while the Riot Girls are trying to break up the wall to help their jammer actually score points.
A Busty Lissa's major assets wall is something that's mighty impressive to try and get through.
It seemed as though Savage Mind was getting frustrated by constantly getting hit out, and she called off the jam. It's an interesting strategy because obviously if she feels like she's getting beat up, she doesn't want to waste her time out there. However, that means that this jam is starting with a power jam as well. They have more time. They don't have as much time to score points, basically, is because they have to do their initial pass where they don't get to score points. So it's kind of interesting. It's an interesting strategy.
You'll notice that the Riot Girls are starting on their knee. That's going to put us in a no-pack situation, which allows the Golden Snitch to start at the same time as the players. That gives her a bit of an advantage to try and get in and get through her first pass before the bad reputations. Wow, that was a huge wall hit for the Golden Snitch. She goes down. That was all three blockers took her out right there. A big hit on the inside too. Golden Snitch falls to the ground and she's starting in from the back. Looks like we have our bad reputations jammer back in the pack, although she now has to try and get through a big roll of Riot Girls in the front, and she does it! Eve Hallows is your lead jammer for the bad reputations. From the penalty, from the sin bin to lead jammer, and it looks like your bad reputations are on a power jam. They are the only team with a jammer on the track at the moment. Means they're the only team that's able to score points. You see the Riot Girls are trying to keep a really quick pack so that that jammer has to work that much harder in order to try and score her points.
But Eve Hollows gets past those back Riot Girl wall, and she's only got one more blocker to pass, and then she gets taken out by E-Rolla Virus.
That was a great hit by E-Rolla.
The Riot Girls are being really aggressive this game. They're keeping their wall really tight in the front, but they're keeping it fast as well, just so that Eve Hollows can't make it through the front wall. She's fighting her way through, but still not able to pass all of them. And it seems that she cut one player, which means that she has a minor penalty as well. Barracuda, the coach for the bad reputations, was yelling at her to call it off because she saw that the Golden Snitch was standing in the penalty box, which means that she would come back and hopefully score some points. It's a good call.
That brings our score to 5-5. We have a tie game with just over 8 minutes played in this first period of our first game of season 6.
5-5, you know what that means. When it's tied, you need to drink. So everyone in the beer garden, you better take a sip of your drink. 5-5, tied score.
It's a tie game, take a drink.
I don't see anyone drinking.
I think everybody in the stands should do a tie game high five. High five your neighbor.
Yeah, high five your neighbor if you don't have a beer in your
Yes,
hand.
oh my God, that was so beautiful. Roller derby high fives, that was absolutely
Who
amazing.
got high fives outside? Yeah, oh yeah, we were giving you guys high fives.
That was us, in case you were wondering who those crazy girls giving you high fives were. We're just real excited about the start of this game.
But we were excited to see you, and we love high fives.
Yeah, it's true. We'll take some more high fives at the halftime too. So it looks like we are going to start this. Oh, we are in a referee timeout right at the moment. That's what it means with the referees put their hands on their shoulders like that. Referees can do timeouts anytime they want to do such things as making sure that everybody's in the penalty box that should be in the penalty box. Want to make sure that all the points are on the board. Each team is allowed to call 3 timeouts per game.
Yep, 3 timeouts, and they can have 1 challenge per period. So that means if something was called incorrectly, you can call a challenge. So basically it's a timeout, talk to the refs. You know, most of the time it's done due to scores, like if they missed a point or something, but it can get intense.
We have 100% real Canadian bacon as the only jammer on the jam line for the beginning of this. And there she goes. In from the penalty box is a Golden Snitch though. She is your lead jammer for the Riot Girls, the Golden Snitch.
The Golden Snitch is a rookie this season, and she's just amazing. She's got a great stride and is great on her skates.
I love her pants.
And Canadian Bacon makes it out of the pack as well. This is her second season. Also an amazing skater.
Golden Snitch now has to try and get through a big thick wall of blue players at the front. In the meantime, Real Canadian Bacon is catching up.
The Golden Snitch called off that jam right before Bacon got through the back over there. If you look at the refs in the middle, you can see that the red ref had 4 fingers up. That means they scored 4 points. While the bad reputation ref had no fingers up, which means 0 points. 9-5 for the Riot Girls.
We've played 10 minutes of this first period. We are going to play 2 30-minute periods for you today in this first game. Looks like we have all of our players on the track. I don't see anybody over there in our sin bin. We would like to thank the sin bin for sponsoring our penalty box over there, the sin bin. They are the official clubhouse of the Terminal City Roller Girls.
Oh, and it looks like hit and miss snuck right through the front over there with Diva quick on her feet. But it looks like Diva has to go to the sin bin. She did something naughty. That means she's a minute in the box while the rest of the, it allows for hit and miss to score as many points as possible during this time.
Come on, Riot Girls fans, cheer on. She is on a power jam. That is hit and miss. Hit and Miss is also a member of our Terminal City All-Stars, and she's playing on a home team as well, which is a lot of commitment to roller derby. Fantastic skating. That was a big 5 points. That's a grand slam for Hit and Miss. That's our first grand slam of the night. That means she passed all the players on the track, and she gets a point for lapping the other jammer who's still sitting in the sin bin.
If you're watching, the bad reputations are trying to keep the pack fast. They're trying to keep it fast so that she can't catch up, so that the jammer gets tired. Meanwhile, the Riot Girls are trying to keep it slow. And this sometimes divides the pack, which is not allowed to happen in the game.
Great skating for Hit and Miss. She just weaved her way through there. Major Assets came up from the back and took her out, though. And then Hit and Miss said, that is enough for me, with another 5 points. That brings our Riot Girls score up to 19 currently on the board. 5 for our bad reputations. This has been a pretty good game of roller derby. I like how evenly matched both of these teams are. There are a lot of rookies on each team, a lot of veterans on the team as well.
And now on the line, we've got Rumble Stiltskin for the bad reputations, and we've got Justine Timberskate for the Riot Girls. Oh, Justine's got some fans out there, I hear. A whole section almost.
Don't forget, the louder you cheer, the faster they skate.
Oh, and Timberskate made it out of the pack without any penalties. But, it looks like she did have a penalty because she's not lead jammer, or maybe she didn't get out first cleanly. That means that because she's not lead jammer, it's going to be a 2-minute jam happening right now. Meanwhile, Rumpelstiltskin is in the sin bin, so that's 1 minute that Justine Timberskate has to score a bunch of points.
That last scoring pass for Justine Timberskate, she was able to weave her way through there. And again, fantastic.
And that grand slam, 5 points. And if you pay attention, there are 4 bad reputation blockers on the track and only 2 Riot Girls. So she's doing a pretty impressive job without a lot of help. But that front wall of bad reputations is tough to get by, but she still does it. Snuck by and scored another 5 points. Grand slam!
Is that 15 points she scored in that jam so far?
I think so. Quite a few. She's definitely a rookie to look out for this season. Quick on her feet and willing to take the hits. Oh, and she just snuck by on the inside past Squirrely, who wasn't looking. Scored another few points.
We are skating a full 2-minute jam as there was no lead jammer in this game.
2 2 minutes is a really long time to skate, but it seems as though Rumpelstiltskin also scored 4 points over there, just snuck in before the 2-minute mark.
Riot Girls fans, let's hear it for Justine Timberskate. That is an amazing skate she did there. Rumpelstiltskin was able to put 4 points up on the board for the Bad Reputations to bring their score up to 9. Riot Girls in a 38 points. That was a fantastic skate for Justine. That was at least 15 points in that jam.
That's amazing. For 2 minutes to skate that long and score that many points, it's really impressive. It's hard work doing that. Bad Reputation fans, where are you? The Bad Reputations need you.
Oh, we've got some Bad Rep fans
Oh,
behind
there's
us
some
here.
signs over there for Eve Hollows. She's got fans over there.
That is Eve Hollows in the Golden Snitch that are jamming for you. The Golden Snitch takes a big hit and she has to go back to the inside. That allows Eve Hollows. She came through on the outside. She is your lead jammer for this jam. Golden Snitch just made her way out of the pack as well.
All that cheering for the Bad Reputations paid off. You got lead jammer.
Roller derby runs on love. The louder you cheer, the more points they score. See?
Perfect. Eve Hollow snuck by, got 4 points, and called it up.
Looks like Riot Girls were able to pull in 2 points for that last jam, bringing their score up to 42.
It seemed as though she didn't call the jam off quick enough. Had she called it off a tad quicker, then the Riot Girls wouldn't have scored the 2 points. That's why it's really difficult when you're jamming to pay attention what's going on, where the other jammer is, and how quickly you need to call it off. Oftentimes you'll see the coaches on the bench hitting their hips or hitting their, tapping their head. That means that they're telling their jammer to call it off.
Looks like the Bad Reputations are going to start with one of their blockers in the sin bin. Real Canadian Bacon and hit and miss off the jam line. Little jammer on jammer action as they go in there.
Oh, hit and miss ended up getting hit and pulled back into the pack, which means that Canadian Bacon is ahead of her, although she was not lead jammer. So hit and miss called it off before Bacon could score any points. Sometimes that happens. You become lead jammer, but you're not the first skater out of the pack. Or
Yeah, I think she took a big hit there at the end of the jam and actually ended up back at the back of the pack. So even though she was lead jammer, she was still in the pack.
they hit her, they didn't miss her, unfortunately. Haha.
Hit and miss.
Slow clap. That was slow
That
clap.
was a slow clap joke.
Not funny.
We've got Savage Mind up on the line for your Riot Girls. She's jamming up against Diva La Revolution.
Diva is the captain of the Bad Reputations this season, and she's doing a phenomenal job.
I think this is her 4th season.
No, I think it's her second season.
Savage Mind is able to make it out of the pack as your lead jammer. Diva La Revolution still trying to fight her way through some red there. I think she took a bit of a hit. Although we're being told that was an illegal hit and she is on her way to the penalty box. Savage Mind makes it out and she calls off the jam. I think she was able to pull in 4 points for that jam. That is going to increase the Riot Girls to 46 to 13 for the Bad Reputations.
We've got Justine Timberskate and Rumpelstiltskin on the line.
Looks like we're going into a bit of an official timeout. We've got an official timeout. Wheezy Rider is telling us is over.
That was a quick official timeout.
So it looks like once our referees are all in place, we are ready to start this jam. Again, Justine Timberskate up against Rumpelstiltskin. I think this is going to be interesting. I'm going to like to watch these two.
I definitely love these two jammers. Timberskate has just been phenomenal, and Stilts is also has such long legs and took the outside and made it through. Her stride is sometimes the length of 2 steps.
I know, that's amazing. She's able to make it through as your lead jammer, Bad Reputations fans.
Meanwhile, Timberskate took a whip off of Vendetta's hips and made it out of the pack as well. But I don't know if she'll have enough time to score some points. Stilts is a smart jammer. Oh, she caught a few players. Stilts cut a few players there, so I don't know if she got all her points. She only got 3 points. So if she illegally passed one skater, she didn't get a point for them. Meanwhile, Timberskate got all 4 points. I love the people cheering for Timberskate out there.
We got our Timberskate fan club over there.
It's a whole section. I swear, it's like half the people here.
We've got Eve Hollows on the line up against the Golden Snitch. We've got 2 Riot Girls sitting in our sin bin. And it looks like 1 bad reputation over in our sin bin, so we're only going to play with 5 blockers.
3-on-2 for these blockers. And the bad reputations just took a knee. Because they took a knee, that means that the whistle will be blown right away because there's no pack. You need at least 1 blocker from each team to be a part of the pack.
Oh, that was a great jump, but a little bit of a fall at the end. You'll see Eve Hollows had to let the other jammer go ahead of her because she made a little bit of a quick start, which means the Golden Snitch had the opportunity to get to the pack first.
Sometimes it's tricky jumping on the inside line. You make it, but you might trip or fall. But she did get lead status, and therefore it was smart for her to call it off because she was stuck in the back of the pack behind the bad reputations over there.
We'd like to take a moment to thank another one of our sponsors, Emergency. Emergency is the all-natural, fast, fun, and effective.
I had some this morning, actually, Fever.
Do you feel good because you had the Emergency?
I feel so great. That stuff is amazing. Not only is it good, like I was feeling a little bit sick, and then I had Emergency, and I just felt like I took some last night, and I felt much better today.
Fantastic.
My roommate also came home a little hungover, and he had some, and he was like, whoa, I feel good after this. And we've got Victory Slaps skating around. She's our score goddess tonight. Wave your hands, Victory Slaps. She's too busy checking the whiteboard out.
And there we go. Real Canadian Bacon is out as your lead jammer. Followed right behind her, though, is Hit and Miss. We're going to have to see what Bacon does with this. She's either going to take the opportunity to skate through to get a couple of points, or she's going to try and call off that jam. Hit and Miss is a pretty fast skater. We're going to have to see how this one's going to play out. Looks like Bacon's decided to go in for some points, calls off the jam.
She got 3 points on that one, while Hit and Miss didn't get any. So it was great that she called it off when she did, because had she tried to go for 4 points, she might have, Hit and Miss might have scored some. So that was a really great call on her behalf.
We've got just over 9 minutes left in this first period of our first game.
So, Fever, where do these girls get their skates from?
Oh my God, I was just thinking about that. Most of these girls are going to get their skates from rollergirl.ca, which is the biggest roller skate retail store in Canada. We got a bit of a bad reps cheer going on right now if anybody else wants to join in.
We need to hear some more cheering for the bad reps, guys. They need you. The louder you cheer, the faster they skate.
It worked. Oh, big hit by Honey Habanero, and Diva La Revolution goes down. That gave the opportunity for Savage Mind to break through.
But Diva La Revolution is the lead jammer, so even though she's still stuck in the back of the pack, she can call that jam off at any time. And she most likely will. Oh, there we go. She called it off. She didn't want her to score any points on her. So that was a great strategy right there.
Savage Mind was on her way back in to start a scoring pass. Diva La Revolution took that time to call it out. Good call.
Very good call. We only have 8 minutes left of this period.
Yeah, if you want your opportunity to be, risky mismatch, why don't you talk about what's going on right now?
So right now what's happening is they call it a scrum start. Basically, they line up right against the jammer line. Because the bad reputations are on their knee, that means that there is no pack. They call the second whistle right away. But this takes away a lot of the speed that the jammers usually have. And it works really well for the Riot Girls right there. Justine Timberskate just snuck on by while Stilts is stuck behind the front wall of Sundown and Hurt Russell.
That was some great blocking by Sundown and Hurt there. It really slowed down Stilts. Justine Timberskate trying to break through on the outside. Bustylicious and Loca Smokia doing a really interesting move there. Did a little bit of blocking. Justine took that time to call off the jam just as Stilts was coming in. It looks like we got 3 more points going on the board for your Riot Girls. Fantastic first period for the Riot Girls. They are at a 53-19 score.
2 more of our rookie jammers on the line. Eve and the Golden Snitch. I love those tights, gold lame. And the other ones that are webbed.
Good song choice, Sean the Rock. Ladies and gentlemen, in case you're wondering who the amazing tunes are coming by, that is our good friend Sean the Rock. Looks like Eve Hallows is able to make it through as your lead jammer, which is an excellent opportunity for the Bad Reputations as the Golden Snitch. Still caught behind a really strong blocking wall that the Bad Reputations have going. Major Assets, Lambaster. Looks like right at the end of that, Lambaster is on her way to the penalty box. Put some more points on the board there for our Bad Reputations. Our score now stands at 53 for the Riot Girls, 20 for the Bad Reputations. And Sean LaRock is spinning us some tunes.
Speaking of tunes, you know what radio station I really love listening to?
What's that?
The Peak.
The Peak, who doesn't love The Peak? 100.5?
Such great music, and I love that there's often a lot of Canadian content. I'm kind of a Canadian music junkie.
We've got Real Canadian Bacon and Hit and Miss up on the line. Both of these are veteran skaters, so they both have a really good amount of speed on these 2 players. Big Riot Girl wall at the front. Hit and Miss takes that to her advantage. Sideshow Rob says she is your lead jammer.
Meanwhile, Bacon's fighting up against that front wall. We've got Vendetta Von Bang and Sundown and Cassandra Payne, and she snuck through.
Riot Girls lining up back at the front of this pack, trying to take control of it. Big hit by Major Assets. Hit and Miss. Took a couple of hits off her, was still able to skate through there. She passes Severin Strychnine and calls off the jam.
Both Hit and Miss and Sundown are the only 2 all-star skaters that play on a house team. It's a lot of commitment to play on the All-Stars, and so they're making it happen by playing on a house team as well, and both of them are captaining that. Speaking of All-Stars, have you guys seen some All-Stars out there? Did you guys buy your programs from them?
Your official derby program for the season 6? How amazing is that?
Only $3. That's a great deal.
I think so.
You can have it forever and then ask a roller girl to sign it.
Oh, that would be good. You could pass it on to your kids.
Yes, and you can be like, look, I watched roller derby back in the day.
I think the first whistle did blow, but we have a slow start. It looks like the Bad Reputations were waiting for all of their jammer back, all of their blockers to come back out of the penalty box. But we are on the go now. We've got Diva La Revolution skating against Savage Mind. Diva La Revolution able to blow off a hit from Decker, and she's through as your lead jammer. Come on, Bad Reps fans, Diva La Revolution! Savage Mind still caught in the pack. Diva, what an amazing skate through.
Grand Slam!
Grand Slam for Diva. She did a fantastic skate there. That was some nice footwork. We still have Savage Mind getting caught behind. This is a really strong lineup. Beautiful.
Another Grand Slam.
That's 10 points on the board so far for the Bad Reputations. Savage Mind still trying to get through a strong wall.
And she got rocked pretty hard there.
Looks like Decker is sent to our sin bin. Diva La Revolution!
Grand Slam!
That is 15 points in this jam so far for Diva La Revolution. That is how fast this game of roller derby can change. Big hit by Bustylicious. Savage Mind goes down again. Big hit, I think that was Sundown who took Diva La Revolution down at that point in time. Finally able to slow her down a little bit.
Lambaster and Loca Smokia are in the front, not letting Savage Mind sneak through. Meanwhile, Diva Diva is in the sin bin.
Looks like Diva the Revolution.
Oh, I think they might have made a mistake on that because it looks like the referee called Diva back out. So, wow.
Fantastic jam for Diva La Revolution, everybody. Let's hear it for her. Our score is now 42-56. We are going into a bit of a... Oh my God, Rich, what are you doing over there? Ladies and gentlemen. Oh, he's lost his pants. Filthy Rich.
Looks like Filthy Rich just ripped off his pants. If you're a bad rep fan, you better start cheering right now. What if you're a Riot Girl fan? Let's hear the Riot Girl fans.
We've got just over 1 minute left in this game. We're going to get at least one more jam into this first period. Both of our
Lambaster and Squirrely are holding that front wall.
Rumpelstiltskin is able to come through as your lead jammer for the Bad Reputations. They are on a roll. That's 2 lead jammers in a row. Rumpelstiltskin has to get past the wall. Big hit from Tcrg. That's done. Rumpelstiltskin takes those points, calls off the jam. That was 4 more points for your Bad Reputations. That's going to bring their score up to 46-56. We've only got 10 points separating our two teams. It looks like our referees are going to let us do one more jam in this first 30-minute period.
So it looks like there's just, like Fever said, there's just one more jam left. And once that jam is done, this period is done. Pretty intense. It's quick. It's amazing how quickly the score changes in just one jam.
I love it.
Yeah, 10-point difference. That can change so quickly with just a power jam.
Severin Strychnine pulling out the slow start there, but both of our jammers are now into the pack. Eve Hollow's trying to come through on the outside. She hits a bit of a wall of red. Excellent skating, Eve Hollows. That is 3 lead jammers in a row for the Bad Reputations. They are really pushing the end of this period with some strong skating.
That was amazing. Eve Hollows just waited for the inside line to open up slightly and hustled right through. Great footwork.
Eve Hollows has decided to call off the jam. That means there was no points in there. That is the end of our first period. We have 56 points for the Riot Girls, 46 points for the Bad Reputation. Let's hear it for both of our teams. So it looks like Law and Hoarder, our timekeeper, has told us that we are ready to start this second period. Ladies and gentlemen, I want to start this second period off with a big cheer from everybody to get this game going. Let's hear it for both of your teams in the second period.
Who loves roller derby?
I love roller derby.
Who loves roller derby? I do. I can't hear you. Does anyone love roller derby in here?
That's right. We're starting with the Golden Snitch and Real Canadian Bacon off the line. Both of these jammers are able to hit the pack at the same time. Bacon came through on the outside. She is your lead jammer.
The Bad Reputations are out to score those 10 points in order to tie this game. And Lambaster takes the Golden Snitch out on a really hard hit and hustles to the back of the pack, so she has to come in behind her. Meanwhile, Bacon gets taken out by Ebola Virus and is fighting against a front wall of red.
100% Real Canadian Bacon was almost able to shake off that hit from Ebola Virus, and it did slow her down a little bit, although she stayed on her feet. She's now trying to break through the big wall of Riot Girls red. D.A. DeRuckus does a big shoulder.
The Riot Girls are bridging right now.
Huge hit by Honey Habanero. Ooh, we had a little jammer on jammer action right at the end there by accident.
I don't know if you guys saw, but the Riot Girls were bridging, which means that we were talking about pack before, and basically a pack is the definition of the most skaters from both teams in a close proximity of each other. And so what was happening was the Riot Girls were bridging, which means that they're less than 10 feet from each other in order to be considered a part of that pack. and they were doing that so that they can engage with the jammer. It's a little bit confusing, but it's a great strategy to watch.
So it looks like the end of that jam was a little bit rough as we have 2 Riot Girls at our sin bin, 1 bad reputation. Both of these jammers don't have as many people to pass, but that doesn't mean that it's going to be as easy. Huge hit by Hurt Russell on Rumpelstiltskin. She goes down. Meanwhile, Hit and Miss is able to come through on the inside. Riot Girls have your lead jammer status after 5 jams of not having lead
Meanwhile,
jammer.
Stilts was fighting against Sundown, the last blocker that she needed to pass, and she's out of the pack as well.
Bad Reputation trying to hold down the front wall. Hit and Miss takes a big hit from Lambaster. Hurt Russell comes out and takes Lambaster out of that action. Hit and Miss makes it to the front of the pack.
Oh, Hit and Miss is going to the sin bin. I'm not sure what she did, but I have a feeling that she
tried to call off the jam when she was not the lead jammer. That gave her an illegal procedure.
Oh, so now Stilts has 1 full minute to score a bunch of points before Hit and Miss will come back on the track. It looks like a bunch of players just got let out of the sin bin as well.
And it looks like Rumpelstiltskin was able to pull in 5 points in that last jam, scoring past Sideshow Rob was showing us that she got herself a grand slam.
Severin Strychnine is busting up that front wall of skaters.
And that's another grand slam for Rumpelstiltskin. She gets herself 5 more points. Bad Reputations now have the lead, 60 points to 56. Come on, Bad Reps fans.
Bad Rep fans, we can't hear you. Also, if you're in the beer garden, you need to drink because that's a lead change. If you're paying attention right now, the Bad Reputations have Hurt Russell caught in the back there. That means that they're controlling the pack. Meanwhile, Stilts is still trying to rack up some points.
That's another 5 points. That's at least 15 points that Stilts has put on the board in this game. Hit and Miss has been out of the penalty box right at the very end of this period. Fantastic jam for Stilts, ladies and gentlemen. That was at least 15 points she put on the board, bringing the Bad Reputations up to 65-56. Fantastic.
People in the beer garden, lead change. That means you need to drink.
Beer garden.
No one's drinking. How about high fives? Everyone who doesn't have a beer, high five. Oh, I love seeing the high fives. All right, we've got Eve Hallows on the line.
I love the lights.
And
You
Justine
tricked out.
Timberskate.
Congratulations on that tricked out. Nice.
So these 2 skaters, these 2 rookie skaters have the most fans out here, I think, because every time I name Eve Hallows and Justine Timberskate, everyone cheers.
Let's try it. Eve Hallows.
Justine Timberskate.
Nice. And it's Justine. She's through, but she's not your lead jammer.
I think
That means Eve Hallows is your lead jammer. Justine Timberskate on her way to the box.
it means it's a power jam. Power jam for the Bad Reputations. The Riot Girls are trying to speed up the pack while the Bad Reps are trying to slow it down in the back there. They all need to skate in close proximity, and that's why they can't get split up.
That was some fancy footwork by Eve Hallows as she is able to pass all those players. Grand slam! You know what? I think the Bad Reputations were drinking their energy.
Now, it might look like it's easy for Eve Hallows to skate around, but a lot of the work that she's doing is basically due to the fact that her blockers are working really hard for her. We've got Bustylicious, Squirrely, and Severin Strychnine who are holding the back of the pack. They've got Erola Virus, and they won't let her go, and due to that, Eve Hallows is just racking up those points.
When they trap our player like that, that keeps the pack, the active pack at the back, and then really slow.
Eve Hallows got a red wall there that she needs to fight through. Got tripped by Decker, or Trip Decker.
Decker doing some bridging there, trying to make sure that the pack doesn't get too far ahead. And that was the end of that jam. Eve Hallows.
She called off that jam at the right time because Justine Timberskate was coming out of the box.
We are at a 79-58 game. The Bad Reputations have taken control of this second period.
The Bad Reputations came back from that halftime just you know, kicking ass, as I'd like to say. I wonder what they were drinking in their locker room before they came out.
My guess is they were drinking some Emergency.
Emergency is what those bad reps were drinking.
And if you want an opportunity to dress like a roller girl, you have that chance if you go to Pivot Star.
You do. Pivot Star has got some of the most amazing hoodies. If you see a bunch of girls with hoodies and stars on the hoods, that is from Pivot Star. You could be a jammer and not be a roller girl. You just go up to Pivot Star and you buy a hoodie with stars on them.
And then you get to run down the street passing people really fast if you put your hood up.
I do that all the time. I try not to hip check people when I'm going to the SkyTrain, but when I have my Pivot Star hoodie, I kind of do that.
You kind of like weave through all the people and you're like, I'm the jammer, yo.
Yeah, and once you've got your hoodie and you're almost a jammer, all you need is roller skates.
Sure, roller skates, which you can get at rollergirl.ca.
Absolutely. Rollergirl.ca. You can buy all your derby gear online, or you can hit up the store at Main and 11th, I believe.
Rollergirl.ca is also a huge supporter of roller derby in Canada. I believe they support over 41 leagues, which is amazing that we have over 41 leagues.
I think we have more than that in Canada. I think we're closer to 70.
That's fantastic. I know when the Terminal City Roller Girls started 7 years ago, we were the first. We were the only ones in Canada, and now we are up over 70.
I don't know if it's true, but I think the Terminal City Roller Girls are one of the biggest leagues in Canada. We've got 4 house teams, an all-star team, and an amazing ref crew. And also we've got amazing volunteers. Just a big shout out to all the volunteers. If you see someone in a red volunteer shirt, give them a high five.
Totally, volunteers love hugs. So Real Canadian Bacon tries to sneak through on the inside to get herself out of the pack first, and it looks like Sacha Rob is telling us that she did in fact pass all of the players legally, so even though she's still took a huge hit from Sundown, she's her lead jammer.
So Sundown hit her out of bounds and then she went back and Canadian Bacon cut her, which means she got a minor penalty for that, I believe.
Sundown trying to stop her again, but she's able to make through just before the Golden Snitch catches up to the back of the pack. So I think that is a 0-0 score on that jam. We've played just over 8 minutes in this second period. Don't forget, this is the first of 2 games we have tonight.
Oh my God, who's playing the second game?
Our second game is going to be a rematch of our championship game as we have Public Frenemy taking on the Faster Pussycats.
Who was here last season for the championship game?
Wasn't that amazing? I know you were.
Who is cheering for the Faster Pussycats? And who is cheering for Public Frenemy?
Nice. Get those cheers ready for our second game tonight. Hit and Miss and Stilts are on the go. Hit and Miss trying to take it inside. Looks like Stilts trying to make her way through on the outside. We'll see who gets there first. Big hit by
Honey Habanero.
And that's the Riot Girls' opportunity as Hit and Miss and Sir as your lead jammer.
Let's give Hit and Miss some love.
Stilts right behind her, though we're going to have to see if Hit and Miss is able to get far enough into the pack.
And Hit and Miss just sneaks through that bad rep wall.
Rumpelstiltskin is able to get 2 points off of 4 points there for Hit and Miss.
And 2 for the bad reputations.
So that gives us 81 for the bad reps, 262 for the Riot Girls.
Oh man, I love watching these skaters. Some amazing skills today. Great walls, great blocking, big hits, and great agility.
I do think this is going to be one of the best seasons we've seen here at the Terminal City Roller Girls.
Absolutely, and some great new rookie skaters that are, each of the teams drafted about 9, 10 brand new rookies, new faces. And we've got Eve Hallows on the line and Justine Timberskate.
So much fun, those two together. They've skated a lot of bouts together. A lot of jams tonight, anyways, they put them together.
It's pretty amazing because a lot of the rookies practiced for a good 5-6 months together in fresh meat, and now they're going head to head against each other. Eve Hallows is fighting against the front wall of Cassandra Payne, Vendetta, and Hurt Russell. And she wasn't able to get through.
That was a great blocking wall that the Riot Girls put together there. Looks like Lambaster's on her way to the penalty box. giving a bit more of an opportunity to Justine Timberskate to try and get past them.
Meanwhile, the Bad Reputations have a front wall, and they aren't letting Justine Timberskate get through. They knock her out of bounds, and she keeps fighting.
These blockers are doing an amazing job in this period.
It's been almost a minute, and none of the jammers have gotten out of the pack yet. It's extremely tiring fighting through that wall.
Looks like Justine Timberskate got herself a major penalty.
Well, we've got one jammer in the box, and now the other jammer's going in, which means that as soon as she sits down, the other jammer is released from the penalty box, the sin bin.
So that puts Justine Timberskate back in the pack. Eve Hollow's sitting out her. She's going to sit out the exact same amount of time that Justine sat out, so she's going to be able to come back in fairly soon. Finally, Justine Timberskate makes it through.
But she's not lead jammer, and the reason she's not lead jammer is because she already sat in the sin bin. So this is going to be a 2-minute jam. But they already wasted a lot of time sitting in the box, so the whistle's probably going to go fairly soon, and there it is.
That was some amazing block. Let's hear it for the blockers in that jam. That was 140 that they made it. They went through a whole minute 40 without any of the jammers being able to break through.
Blockers never get the glory, but honestly, they're the ones that make it easy for the jammers. Yeah, the jammers skate around and they need the quick footwork and they take a couple hits, but those blockers get hit the whole time. They're taking hits, they're giving hits, they're staying together. They need to be aware of where their jammer is and where the opposing jammer is. It's not an easy task. It's a dirty job, and they don't get any glory. So let's hear it for the blockers out there.
Who's a fan of a blocker?
I love blocking. Blocking is so fun.
So Real Canadian Bacon is on the line up against Savage Mind. Looks like we're having a bit of a rough time out though, so we're going to wait a few seconds before they get out. We also want to thank another one of our sponsors, Addictive Sportswear. They have had 20 years of custom printed clothing. They print a lot of the uniforms that you see here, so thanks so much to Addictive Sportswear.
And they also have great t-shirts. I don't know if you guys have bought some merch of Tcrg shirts. A lot of that is done by Addictive.
Looks like Filthy Rich, whoa, lost his pants.
Whoa, he loses his pants as much as I do. I often don't wear pants. I have pants on today, but maybe if you come to the after party and if I go, I might not be wearing pants.
You cheer loud enough, maybe you'll rip off your pants?
Yeah, maybe I'll rip off my pants. Or not.
I'm not going to do that. These pants are real hard to take off.
Some great tunes playing today. Sean Larocque playing some music.
Sean Larocque is my favorite DJ ever.
Sean is adorable. He's always matching his sunglasses and his outfit. I need some lessons from him of how to dress well.
Oh, nice. Yeah.
Speaking of music, I just want to give a big shout out to The Peak that play awesome tunes. They also have a truck outside playing some great music. Thank you to The Peak.
They are one of our new sponsors this year. We do want to thank The Peak. Those whistles make it sound like we are ready to start this next jam. We've currently got 17 minutes on the board. We've got 81 for your Bad Reputations to 62 for your Riot Girls. Bad Reputations have really come out of the gate in this second period. They've pretty much dominated the lead jammer status. Real Canadian Bacon on the line up against Savage Mind. We're waiting for the time to go down to Law and Hoarder, one of the best dressed refs.
I love her. She can arrest me anytime.
Totally. What if she's got cuffs?
She's so tall, too. The worst is when she's the jammer ref, and then you go to the penalty box, and she just stares you down. And
most of our jammers off the line now. It looks like Bacon, fantastic. She's her lead jammer. It was like there was nobody else on there. She just skated right through them. Savage Mind is close behind her on the back there, though.
Bacon made that look way too easy. And she sneaks on the inside line and she wants a little bit of love that she almost forgot to call it off. Luckily, she saw Barracuda jumping up and down, screaming at her to call it off. A little bit of love for Canadian Bacon.
Who doesn't love bacon? Everything's better with bacon.
Everything is way better with bacon.
It's like she's got so many built-in slogans with that name, you know. That was such a good choice.
It is a good choice. I mean, bacon is amazing with anything. Even if you're vegetarian and vegan, admit it. You miss bacon. Oh, someone yelled, I'm a vegetarian. Oh, it was Sean LaRock said, I'm vegetarian, but he said he'd be down for bacon any day.
We've got the Golden Snitch up on the line against Rumpelstiltskin. It's a bit of a slow start for our pack. They do that to try and run down the time that their players are in the penalty box. If they don't cross the line, that means the Jammers can't go. Nobody scores any points.
They killed some time, and now they've got a Riot Girl blocker that made it out. Meanwhile, they're still trying to kill time for Major Assets, who's sitting in the box.
Built a lot of anticipation for the Jammers as they just sit there and try and wait till they get to go. Both of them are now in the back of the pack. Riot Girls have control of the front line. Stilts hitting a big wall of red. Some great hits by Sundown. Stilts just has 2 more players. The front.
Meanwhile, the Golden Snitch was naughty and went to the sin bin.
Excellent opportunity for Stilts.
Oh
no, she's on the way to the box.
That means that we're not going to have a lead jammer for this jam because both went to the box. 2-minute jam. Oh, she's taking her sweet time sitting down just to make sure that the Golden Snitch has less time to score points. Meanwhile, the Golden Snitch makes it through. She's not the lead jammer, and that's why the jam ref is waving his arms across his chest. No, you're not lead jammer.
We are going to be skating the full 2 minutes. There's about 30 seconds left in this jam. Both of our jammers are now back on the track. Both of these teams are playing a really aggressive second period. You'll see that they are getting a lot of penalties, which means they're playing very hard. Both these teams really want the win this year.
They're trying to score as many points right now because they know they only have 10 seconds left on this jam clock, and none of them are lead jammers, so nobody can call it off. So it's basically fight, get as many points as you can.
Golden Snitch and Major Assets fighting it out at the back of that pack. But that was 2 minutes and this jam is done. Looks like we put another few points on the board for both teams. That's going to give us 87-66. Just under 14 minutes left, so which means that we're about halfway done this first game.
Where are the Riot Girl fans? The Riot Girls need you. Riot Girls.
Woo!
Bad reps? What about you? Where are the bad rep fans? We've got Eve Hollows and Hit and Miss on the jam line.
Hit and Miss is the first jammer to hit the back of the pack.
And she
makes it through.
Snuck through the inside line. Meanwhile, Eve Hollows is fighting against a wall of red. We've got Decker, Erola Virus, and Honey Habanero.
Both the jammers now are in scoring position. Hit and Miss is the first jammer to come in to score some points. She's facing, she smashes her way through that blue wall. That was not going to stop her at all.
She called off the jam right before Eve Hollows hit the back of the pack, ensuring that she doesn't score any points. Very strategic, very smart, but you know, you'd expect that from an all-star skater, right?
Nice. That puts 4 more points on the board for the Riot Girls, bringing them up to 70-87. There's only 17 points.
17 points isn't a lot, folks. That can change quickly by a power jam.
We've seen 15-point jams in this game.
We have. It's pretty impressive when you see that because it gets really tiring. So once again, we've got a scrum start happening here. The bad reputations are on their knee to try to get the jam whistle to go right away.
Oh, Real Canadian Bacon tried to sneak through. Sundown 11-11 was having none of that.
Canadian Bacon got called on an illegal procedure. I believe that she started skating off the jam line before the second whistle went. And due to that, Justine Timberskate is the only jammer on the track. However, she is lead jammer.
Justine Timberskate is on a power jam.
Riot Girl fans, she needs you.
The harder you cheer, the more points she's going to score. Busty-licious tried to take her out at the back. It looks like she was able to sneak her way past that. That's 4 points that Justine was able to put on the board.
I believe she didn't get one of the points due to cutting a player. And she makes it through again.
Lambaster and Severin Strychnine trying to slow her down there.
The bad reps are reforming the wall and keeping it tight. They were bridging there, and now they had a wall. Lambaster rocks Justin Timberlake, and she hits the ground. And then she reforms the wall with the rest of the bad reputations. Meanwhile, the Riot Girls are trying to keep things slow in the back, but not playing a lot of offense. So Justine Timberskate is fighting the front wall all by herself.
Justine may have been lead jammer for this, but she was at a bit of a disadvantage. Real Canadian Bacon able to sneak her way through. She filled it off the penalty box.
Sometimes when you're on a power jam, you get really excited about skating that you're not paying attention to the other jammer who's coming out of the box. And that's kind of what happened with Bacon. Bacon just snuck by and everyone forgot to think about the jammer, but that 1 minute goes by really quickly, especially when you're in the penalty box.
That was a great jam for Justine Timberskate as our scores. Riot Girls put themselves up to 80. Bad Reputation was 87. There's only 7 points separating these two teams. 10 minutes left in this first period of our first game of season 6.
Oh my God, season 6.
I'm so excited.
Who's excited for season 6?
Woo! Sean LaRocque's excited.
So I was thinking, I'm gonna buy myself a new Terminal City Roller Girl shirt, and I believe they're printed at Addictive Clothing Wear, because I gave away my Tcrg shirt a while ago at a game. I was playing a bank track game. This is the last game I played, actually, and some girl wanted a Tcrg shirt, and I figured, hey, you know, why not? So I ripped it off and gave it to her.
Was it all like sweaty? Or do you it was like an after sports moment where you just ripped off your sweaty shirt and gave it to a fan?
Yeah, that's exactly what happened. We were at the after party and it was karaoke. Speaking of after party, who's going to the Cobalt tonight?
After party
at
the
Cobalt. It's just the SkyTrain ride away. Well, not from here, but from my house.
A couple buses and a SkyTrain from here. But speaking of being here, we do want to thank the Parks Board for having us.
Thank you, Parks Board. We love you.
Yeah, we'd like to give a big thanks to the Vancouver Parks Board for giving us a sports hosting grant for our season opener. I think there's some Parks Board commissioners in attendance tonight too, so if you see the Parks Board commissioners, give them a hug.
Yeah, wherever you are, Parks Board commissioners, we want to give you a hug or a high five. Here, we'll do one right now for you. This is for you guys. Thanks, Parks Board.
Parks Board high five.
We wouldn't be here without you.
See, they're giving you Parks Board hugs up there too.
That's a lot of love. There's so much love in roller derby. Even though everyone's hitting each other and beating each other up on the track, there's so much love.
It's very true. I love you, Snatchy.
I love you, Dr. Jenny Fever.
Having a moment up here.
Oh, Filthy Rich is hopping around. He's the Bad Reputation's mascot. If you cheer loud enough, he might rip his pants off again. Or maybe not. Oh, it looks like the official timeout is done. We've got a scrum start again. So as I explained, when they're down on their knee, there is no pack because you need at least one blocker from each team to be a part of the pack. That means that the second whistle, the jam whistle, will be blown right away. The Bad Reputations are in the back and they're hovering around the Golden Snitch so that she doesn't get past them.
Golden Snitch was taken down there by Major Assets, but since both players fell, Golden Snitch didn't have to enter in behind her.
The Golden Snitch got out, but Stilts is right behind her. She calls it off right away because she knows that she's not going to be able to score any points with Stilts hot on her trail.
Yeah, that scrum start is just a new thing that I've seen starting. The last season was the first time that I saw that.
A lot of times, strategy kind of starts out from leagues that look at the rules and see how they can manipulate the rules and loopholes in the rules. And so scrum starts are basically kind of getting the whistle start right away. But at the same time, you don't need to start at the pivot line. You can start as close as you can to the jammers. And that's kind of a strategy to kind of pull, to not allow them to gain their speed.
So Sundown 1111 is making an appearance on the jammer line. She's jamming up against Eve Hollows. I think it's a Sundown's first jam tonight, is it not?
Yep, Sundown's first jam. She's the captain of the Riot Girls and an all-star player. And she hopped on the outside. Sundown's got some fancy footwork. This is her second season. Meanwhile, Eve Hollows is quick on her trail. And as you see her hustle, Eve Hollows got amazing hustle. Look at those crossovers.
I love that both of these jammers with the face paint. That's impressive.
Yep, face paint is great.
So it looks like
Sundown sneaks by, gets a couple points, and then calls off that jam.
So we've currently got just over 7 minutes left in this second period, first game of the night. We still have a 7-point spread with the Bad Reputation, still have the lead at 87, Riot Girls 80. Riot Girls have really come out in this second period.
7-point spread and 7 minutes left. Lucky number.
Oh, 7-7. I think that means high five your neighbor.
High five your neighbor, guys.
That's right, yes.
And if you don't know the people you're sitting in front of, beside, standing next to, introduce yourself. Say hi. I love roller derby. Do you love roller derby? Make some friends, because that's what Terminal City is all about. Make friends with your neighbors, talk some derby, and have a good time.
And don't forget to stop by our merch tables where you can buy yourself some awesome TCRG merch. I gotta tell you, you walk down the street in your TCRG t-shirt, people are gonna talk to you. A, they're gonna know that you're awesome cool. And B, they're gonna be like, yeah, I see roller derby too. It brings people together.
I love when I see t-shirts. Actually, my friend just texted me and said that he's upset that he couldn't make it tonight, but that he's wearing his Bad Reputation t-shirt at home. See, that's love. That's love. Loving roller derby and wearing the merch.
And
also loving roller derby is cheering on your favorite team. Right now we've got Canadian Bacon and Hit and Miss. Bacon is your lead jammer.
There is only 3 points that separates these two teams at the moment. Real Canadian Bacon wants to make sure that the Bad Reputation's lead stands. Meanwhile, Hit and Miss skating really fast. Bacon calls off that jam from the floor.
If you paid attention right at that last jam, the Riot Girls were a little bit split up. They weren't together in a tight wall, and that's how Bacon got through and got a few points and called it off right away. So once again, look at the blocking. The blocking in this game is fantastic. The closer and tighter you are with your blockers, the harder it is for that jammer to get through. A lot of times we also don't pay attention to the offensive player. Often there's, a lot of times in derby strategy, you've got a wall of 3 and you've got one offensive skater that kind of helps the jammer out, but sometimes those jammers just need to fend for themselves, and that's what's been happening a lot in this game. We've got a 3-2 advantage for the Riot Girls right now, as the Bad Reps have got 2 skaters in the box.
Justine and Stilts are back again as your jammers. Looks like Stilts. She's the first one out. Vendetta Von Bang trying to see if she can get a piece of her, but she was not able to. That puts Stilts in as your lead jammer. 2 lead jammers in a row for the Bad Reputations with just over 5 minutes left in this second period.
Those Bad Reputations do not want to give up their lead now that they have it. Even though the Riot Girls are out of the pack, Stilts is still ahead, and it looks, she called off that jam. Another really good strategy would have been for Rumpelstiltskin to keep skating up until the back of the pack just to kill the clock on the time and then call it off. But whatever.
Yeah. Tires out the other jammer as well too. So that puts the Bad Reputations with 4 more points on the board, which gives the Bad Reps a lead of 95-84. 5 minutes left in this game.
Oh, I hear people cheering for the Bad Reps. Are there Bad Rep fans out there? What about Riot Girls? The Riot Girls need some love.
We've got the Golden Snitch up against Eve Hollows.
The bad reputations are killing some time now. Not only do they have a blocker in the box that they want to kill time for, but they're also leading this game, so they don't want to allow for any time for the Riot Girls to score points. But the Golden Snitch took the inside line and jumped the apex, and she's your lead jammer.
Eve Hollows going to try to do her best to skate so fast that Golden Snitch is going to have to call off the jam. Golden Snitch has about a half a track lead. Bad reputations are keeping this pack moving really fast. Bustylicious just pulling along the other two blockers on her line.
Like we were talking about before, the blockers are the ones who dictate how the game is being played. The bad reps have been skating really, really fast, not allowing her to score any points. At the same time, the bad reputations were holding the front wall. So even though the Golden Snitch got past her back blockers, which are the Riot Girls, she didn't score any points because she didn't pass any bad reputations who were in the front of the pack. Now that's strategy, and that was really amazing blocking from the bad reputations.
Bustylicious there did some pretty big hit right at the very end. We've got just over 3 minutes left. We're gonna get at least 2 more jams out of this game.
I think the Riot Girls are trying to play Sundown, their captain, who's an all-star player, so that they can score a few points because they've only got 3 minutes left.
So we've got Bacon and Sundown, both of them trying to make it through on the outside. Sundown!
Oh, Sundown is going to the box. It looked like she back blocked someone. So that's one. Oh, power jam for Canadian Bacon. And Bacon probably thought that she was supposed to call it off because now she's discussing it with her captain. Oopsies. But that just means that the next jam is still going to be a power jam for the bad reputations.
Yeah, they're going to definitely start with a lot of time with the jammer in the box. She was really only in the box for probably about 20 seconds before the end of that jam. So bad reputations still have an opportunity to get some points.
Well, that's true. But now they also, Rumpelstiltskin is going to have to do her first pass in order to get lead jammer status, and then she can do her second pass where she scores points. So it was kind of unfortunate that Bacon called that jam off, but that's okay because the bad reputations are just going to try to make this happen.
Riot Girls trying to keep a really fast pace on this pack. They have to be careful that they don't get too far ahead. That puts them into a no-pack situation.
So like Fever was saying, the pack needs to skate in close proximity, and right now, Honey Habanero is hitting stilts, but isn't supposed to if it's 20 feet or more.
So Stilts is on a power jam, and she's your lead jammer, Bad Reps fans. There is 1 minute, 40 seconds left in this game.
So the bad reputations are holding as what we call is a goat. That means that they have one Riot Girl blocker trapped in the back so that they are actually dictating how fast the jam is being played. Meanwhile, Stilts is just going through.
Looks like Stilts called off that jam in the back corner just as Sundown. Bad Reps fans, let's give them some love. They're wanting some love. Bad Reputations have broke 100 points. They are at 101-84 Riot Girls. This game has gone back and forth. This is a great start to the first season, sixth season.
Very, very close game. And if you guys came out to the games before this, even though they don't count for rankings, those two games against the other teams were really close as well. So I could only assume that the Public Frenemy and the Faster Pussycat bout is going to be a tight one as well.
Amazing.
Oh, it looks like both of those jammers jumped the start line.
A little bit of confusion there as both the jammers did a little bit of a slowdown, but they're in the pack now.
Oh, Riot Girl love! Can we hear it for Hit and Miss? Who's your lead jammer?
Even though there's only 23 seconds on the board, we are going to play this jam till its natural conclusion. So at the moment, Hit and Miss is going to dictate how long this game is going to be played.
She needs your help. She needs to score a bunch of points.
Come on, Riot Girls fans, cheer for Hit and Miss. This is going to be our last jam of this game. Hit and Miss has called off that jam with 3 points on the board. That is the end of our first game of Season 6. Let's hear it for both teams. I think that is going to be called our final score. That means the Bad Reputations are the winners of this game, 104-87.
Let's hear it for the Bad Reputations. If you want to high five the Bad Reputations, you can get on the line. There we go.
Good job, Bacon. Fantastic game for the Bad Reputations.
It never looks so good to wear teal, eh?
And ladies and gentlemen, let's hear it for your Riot Girls! That was an amazing first game. I'd like to thank my co-announcer tonight, Risque Bizmatch.
And thank you to Dr. Jenny Fever, who allowed me to announce with her. It was such a delight.
That was good. I think we should high five it out.
All right, let's high five out of here.